As you have heard me say, and I'm sure the sheriff say as well, is that safety of our students is our top priority. One of the challenges we face is this instant communications that students have and that we all have as a society. It's a reality and it's certainly a challenge with the use of cell phones, text messaging, and other social media. It's important for parents to have accurate information in an emergency or potential emergency situation. Our district, school district, as well as the sheriff's office, have had a great working relationship for a very long time. Whether we have a precautionary controlled campus due to an activity in the area, or have a full lockdown on a campus where there might be a report of weapons on campus. It's important for parents to join us in this partnership for the sake of their children's safety. What we have found is that when we get into these type of situations, the social media, the texting, the cell phones really wreak havoc on the way that accurate information is being distributed and disseminated to moms and dads. Students will in fact start texting, and oftentimes texting information that's not correct. And so what we're wanting to do is provide a single site, single source for that information. Together, the school system and the sheriff's office will collaborate in sharing accurate, timely information that when we have law enforcement activities at our schools. We've created new social media sites that we want parents to turn to first for information during these types of emergencies where we have this type of activity going on our campuses. This will be both Facebook, Twitter, and I believe Instagram. It's important to have information in one place and obviously speak with one voice so that parents are getting accurate information and not multiple sources of information. It's also important that principals and school staff have the ability to concentrate on running their school, not answering questions in this time from parents in their community. Schools receive hundreds of phone calls that distract them from that purpose, that mission, and from student safety when they have an emergency on campus. Parents showing up during secured campus activities certainly has potential of placing them and their students at risk. Law enforcement and our district have to trust each other, and we do, and we also hope that our parents will trust us to keep their kids safe. I want to take a moment to thank my staff, my communications staff that's worked very, very hard on this project, as well as the SROs that serve us through the Sheriff's Office and our city police departments, as well as the Sheriff's PIOs on making this available today. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you Captain Mallow from the Sheriff's Office, who will share information about the social media sites and the flyers and the information we're providing to our students. Captain Mallow.
Thank you and good morning. Thank you, Superintendent Browning. We appreciate you inviting us here today. And I just wanted to say we want to thank Linda Cobb for all the work she's done on this project, as well as our PIO staff, and also all the SROs and sergeants and supervisors you see behind me today. Obviously, we're in a very, very busy week and about to go into a very much more busy week next week, and they've done a lot of work. So I just wanted to thank them. You know, it's all about continued partnership and strengthening this partnership. So the idea was we wanted to build a website or websites that we can go get a unified message out. So, you know, you're not getting a message from a bunch of different places. You're getting a message that's unified, that is basically unified and approved by the school board and the school board personnel, and also the Pasco County Sheriff's Office. So with that message, that the parents and students, school staff will be made aware of incidents that take place on campus and things that are happening around the campuses. For instance, last year we had a bank robber that left the bank and ran across the school property. And so, you know, we didn't have that instant message availability to get out there. And so we want to make sure that the parents and the teachers, the students, that everybody have one place to go to get this message. So when we do have something like that happen, and a bad guy be running around the area of a school, we can put out one single message that's unified. It's the actual message from the sheriff's office and the school board, to where there's no guessing. Because what hurts us the most is confusion and rumors. Rumors, and it cause disarray not only in the school, but obviously we have parents that want to get on the school campus to try to get their kids. We have to control that. We have to control that with a message. We also have to control that with our training, and just to let everybody know how much training we've done and how prepared not only the school board but also the sheriff's office are to keep your children safe in school. There's nothing more important than your child's safety to the Pasco County Sheriff's Office or the Pasco School Board. I want to thank you all for being here today, and I want to thank the media for being here and getting this message out to go to these sites that you see on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and to make sure you like them today. We'd really appreciate that. Thank you.
Any questions you might have of us? Yes, ma'am.
You see this as being a two-way communication? You know, you're sending information out, but what if people at the school know about things that are happening there that maybe you guys aren't aware of?
Yes. Well, we would like those any kind of tips to be forwarded to our tip line or our tips button on our website, our PascoSheriff.com website. And if we can get tips that are things that might occur, like a fight that might occur off campus, things like that. But if you have a real serious tip that needs to be given to us immediately, obviously dialing 911 or going to the school resource officer and giving him this type of information is the quickest way to get that problem solved.
Let me just add that the primary purpose, as I see it from the social media sites, is to have that one unified site that moms and dads, guardians can get accurate information on. I cannot begin to tell you the challenges that we have as a school community when we have either a controlled situation on a campus or a complete lockdown. When with everybody that has one of these things, and students are texting moms and dads, and you know how the game of rumor goes. They heard that there was a gun on campus, and next thing you know, they're texting mom or dad that there's a gun on campus when there's not a gun been confirmed on campus. We now have the ability to provide that information very quickly and accurately to keep moms and dads calm and let them know that first and foremost their students are safe, and that law enforcement's involved, and we will certainly communicate to, I guess, better address your question, BC, is to really, it's to push information out to parents as opposed to getting feedback from parents.
How did you guys get the information to parents before, and was there just a delay? Like, was there a long delay?
Well, the question was how did we get it to the parents before, and if there was a long delay. We got it out as fast as we could, but we didn't have that single source area. If you go on Facebook or if you go on our any of our pages, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of sheriff's office Facebook pages, a lot of different types of sheriff's Facebook pages, and you have the school board pages and you have the sheriff's office pages, and this just brings it together and lets us have a unified, almost instantaneous message to make sure that rumors are quelled.
One of the things we found is the principals oftentimes are put in positions of having to communicate. Most all of our principals have Twitter accounts or Facebook pages, and what we were finding is that some of our principals, a number of our principals, were tweeting out information as they perceived it or as they had been told, but it really wasn't actually what was happening, or it wasn't the unified message that we wanted to get out to parents. So what we're encouraging our principals to do is not use your Twitter feeds or your Facebook accounts in those types of situations, but let's use these social media sites to communicate with moms and dads. You go about the business of making sure your students are safe in your schools.
Was it just a robocall before?
We have, but generally not. It's been pretty much a controlled situation on each campus. And the sheriff's office has always taken the lead on that because they are the law enforcement, and we yield to law enforcement. It's almost like they take control of the situation, obviously, because that's not our area of expertise. But we have usually communicated with parents, I hate to say this, but usually after the fact. And the information that they've gotten hasn't always been accurate information. We believe that this effort between the school district and the sheriff's office will strengthen that and will provide timely, accurate information to moms and dads.
Will this information be available in Spanish for the Hispanic community?
Yes, it will. Absolutely will.
In the offices, can you spell out your first name, please? I'm sorry.
James, Jamesmallo, no W.
How about for our parents who might not be social media savvy just yet?
Well, we're always going to have those moms and dads that aren't social media savvy just yet. We will continue to take calls for moms and dads. And we'll always, even with this social media site, these sites up, we will still have parents calling the school. And we need to be able to respond to those questions. But I would be hopeful that the people that are answering those telephones have these sites up and are getting the accurate information from those sites, that they're communicating that information that those parents would otherwise see on those sites. We'll always have those parents that aren't connected. And we will certainly make sure, first and foremost, their students are safe, and we need to find some way to communicate with them. Anything else? Or any other questions?
What are the biggest safety concerns you have going into the school year, and things that are on the top of your list to be watching out for?
We'll have about 400 buses on the road on Monday. Transportation is always a concern this year, as last year. We have a call center that will ramp up on Monday morning for moms and dads to call to know where their children are, and any transportation issues, questions. This will be our second year of the call center. We fielded, I think, a little over 1,700 questions the first day last year. We scheduled for 2 weeks last year, and it was really so successful that we actually cut it off after the first week. But what that call center does is it takes those calls off the transportation department, and again, lets transportation transport kids and not have to answer those questions. So that's certainly a concern of mine. Certainly as kids are going to be walking to school, biking to school, folks just being aware that we have a lot more traffic on the road starting Monday, a lot more kids on sidewalks and walking the streets. Let me just take the opportunity, since we're talking about social media sites, to encourage moms and dads to know what their kids are looking at. Getting on their Twitter accounts, getting on their Facebook pages, and really knowing who they're communicating with, what's being said on social media, and being engaged in their kids' lives. Kids don't like to hear me say that, but I think parents have a responsibility to know what their kids are involved with. We want our kids to be safe. We want them to have a great school year. We want them to be prepared for college, career, and life. And the way we do that is through that partnership with moms and dads. We cannot do it without moms and dads to the extent that we really need to.
Do you have a number of how many incidents were reported last year in the county, just in a way that have made you create this paper?
I don't know how many lockdown situations we've had. I don't have that information. We can probably get that information for you. Do you have any idea? And it really varies. The numbers of controlled campus situations or full lockdowns, we have very few true lockdowns where kids are locked in classrooms and that whole campus comes to a standstill. We have certainly more of the controlled campus or controlled release, depending on what happens in a community. As Captain Mallow said, there might be a bank robbery. They're still looking for a suspect. They've heard gunshots out in the woods. That kind of stuff is certainly a controlled campus situation. Yes, ma'am.
And the optimal time that it would take for the information to be posted up, because I think people get impatient when they hear something.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot quicker than it was before. I'll guarantee you that. We're going to try to get it up as soon as we absolutely possibly can. If the information is coming into us, that's why, for an example, we had a principal last year at a high school that did an incredibly excellent job in tweeting out information and getting information out. That principal was getting information out that was that caused a little bit of a stir, and we want to get the actual true information out as quickly as possible, because there was a lot of different questions that were coming into this principal. I mean, this principal was getting hit all areas, and he didn't know all the information. So by not knowing, it causes obviously a lot of parents to get even more concerned. So we understand that. I'm a parent. I got twins that are in school right now in Pasco County, and I want information as quickly as I can possibly get it as well. And we rest assured we're going to get you the absolute message out to you as quickly as we can.
Let me also, I'm sorry, Kevin. Let me also point out, I was made aware that even when we run drills in our schools, it will be posted to the social media site. We're required to run different types of drills. This will, in fact, be sent out, because what will happen, we'll run a drill, some student will text mom and dad that says we're in a lockdown, not knowing that it's a drill. And so that's the reason and the purpose for this unified message, unified social media site. Okay? Anything? Yes, sir.
Real quick, tying in with safety, coming up Monday, first day of school with all the flooding, how's it looking?
I drove home yesterday in a torrential downpour and ground saturated. We're certainly concerned about road closures. I know that we're working very closely with emergency management and the sheriff's office as we look at ingress, egress to schools, and just as importantly, how moms and dads are getting kids out of their homes to get to school. We sent a Connect Ed call out yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, to all the affected homes through our system of students, giving them directions, instructions about what we need to do and any assistance that we can provide. Certainly it's a concern of ours, and of course, as you all know, but just to make everybody aware that we have Tropical Storm Danny out in the Atlantic, that we are certainly going to keep an eye on as well, even with the flooded conditions that we currently have. We've asked our bus drivers last week to begin driving their routes, not in a bus, but just driving their routes, making sure that those roads are passable, and they're to report back if there are any road closures or any flooding or road conditions that we need to be aware of. We're trying to be a little more proactive than we are reactive to Monday morning. I'm looking for no problems on Monday morning.
Have those bus drivers reported any problems?
I'm not been made aware of any of those situations. No, I have not. Okay? Folks, thanks for being here. We appreciate your time, and we'll certainly stick around if you have other questions. Thank you.